and no, he'll know that his life and the life, the future life of his children depends on it. Otherwise, they won't make it. They will be living in an even more globally connected world. We can't hide from this. The world will constantly show its ever-growing interconnection more and more. Where can you hide from this problem? On the one hand, where it said, yes, a global crisis, and on the other hand, the word global, they don't understand how deep it is. Well, in truth, everyone understands this perfectly. If they understand that we can't see it on the results of what they do, they want to somehow grab it back, somehow to... we're talking here only about dissemination. Who will educate them? People will be found, don't worry. Those that, you know what, take... psychologists, biologists, genetic people, people that are involved in genetics, people that understand this whole global system. By the way, there are many, many very serious researches about this. Organize really a world institution out of them that will tell people in truth, where did we come to? We've entered a completely different level of development, a global one. We can't hide from this anywhere. We can't, by our past theories and approaches, we can't solve problems now. You see, in truth, many on earth understand that there aren't enough resources on our planet in order to give 7 billion people a good living. I do not agree with this at all. The world can provide for hundreds of billions of people. Earth can give food to hundreds of billions of people. You have false calculations because they also come from not only your false utilization, but your false calculation of all of nature, which is to this moment opposite to us. These are uneconomical categories. No, I would say no, moreover, because you can't imagine the extent to which, and there are also researches to this day about this, how the crop depends not only on the amount of fertilizers that you pour on them and the conditions, but it depends on man. We have to take into consideration things that aren't only, we have to take into consideration things that aren't in our powers, in our abilities to control, but we completely depend on them. The climate, the different disasters, natural disasters and different things. We have to also take this into consideration. If the system is global, we have to understand, why does nature refer to us the way it does? Why are there suddenly such problems, such eradications? When I say global, I mean completely all different influences of nature upon us. Of course, I don't know how can Earth provide for hundreds of billions. The problem today is to provide for 5 billion, because in truth only 2 billion on Earth do not have problem with what they eat to this day, and 5 billion do have these problems, and maybe 2 billion of them simply are starving. And the problem is probably tied with the crop, with how people use it. But can you oblige those that use more today? Let's say that golden billion. How will you make them use less? How will you make them lower what they use? We have two ways. Either education, and by a good way, if they'll understand that it's preferable for them to do this, or by stick. By stick not on my behalf, on behalf of nature. Meaning constant systematic crises by which person becomes wiser and he starts already to differently behave and to change the system in which he lives. You see, the same Americans, from capitalism to socialism, going ahead forwards with a red flag. And another crisis, another two crises, and we'll see. Instead of Obama, there will be some communist there, Angela Davis, I don't know, or someone, or Nazism will come to force in all of these developed countries. Well, I would like to return now to economics, and then we'll talk about the coercion that lies ahead. To frighten people, it's not very productive. I'm not talking about frightening them, God forbid. by good means. You do not want to share your homes, your cars. Nature will punish you. No, this is why I'm saying education. Through the means of mass media to tell people, okay, very good, then they will willingly give it, to explain to them in which nature they exist. Okay, people understood it. If they understood it, then in the supermarket he won't have 100 varieties of porridge, but 5, and it's going to be enough for everyone. And it's the very same with all other products. So you're actually offering a completely different sort of economy that's not built on initiative, that's not built on, no, God forbid, no. Because both initiative and all the other forms of it, it's the control of one over the other. I know how to do this, you don't. In your there is a coefficient missing from your equation, globalization. By using more or less, I depend on him. Clear. And therefore, if I eat twice as much, this blow will come back to me somehow. It's preferable not to do it, but to divide, not equally, but with everyone, and not for free, but to make it so that everyone will have for their effort. Very good. So let's talk about that effort, about that labor. In order for this video program to take place, some people had to invent the internet. They had to invent all the equipment, the satellites. This was invented by smart people, that there are always few of them, and organized all of this other smart people, that there's also not many of them. There is the initiative that they can realize, and that would move and moves all of the economy to this day. Imagine a situation where tomorrow a person will not have any stimuli to invent, to do anything, because all that he will do does not bring him anything. I completely agree with you. You think about it like a normal, egoistic, truthfully oriented, building his own businessman. I completely agree with you. I have another problem. I'm also a businessman, and I behave the very same way. But I don't only want to think about today and tomorrow, but I have grandchildren. And I would like... by the way, I'll ask you about children in a moment. And I also want them to feel good. How can I make it so that they will feel good? What kind of calculation do I have to make now? Resources, economy, social decision, everything. In order for me to be more or less certain that not only me, how much do I have left there, but also the children, and especially the grandchildren, will have everything. You mean that there will be built a more comfortable world where there will be secure, safe, first of all, secure and safe, and live comfortably. It means with equivalence with the law of nature. Why does it mean that you have to know the laws of nature? We, humanity, are within nature. The still vegetative, animate levels, all of nature completely keeps to the laws. All animals, all plants, everything is under the influence of this law. And also our body functions under the influence of these laws. But this world is also the result of these laws. Yes, but listen to me. I'm going to a doctor. He looks at all parameters. What condition are you in? Am I in internal balance, internal harmony? The only thing that it is not in internal harmony is man himself.